What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing today? This is your boy Easy Work Boxing, about to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what time it is. Go to the description, subscribe to the new link under there to the new channel. That's the backup channel, Easy Work Boxing 2. Also, if you want to show some love, some support to the channel, it's also in the description. You know where to go, baby. Got to talk about Mr. Undisputed Champion of the World. Got to give a shout out. Got to give him respect. Josh Taylor in the building. You understand me? Josh Taylor, hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. He beat one of my fighters I like, Regis Prograis. Josh Taylor is a legendary young fighter already. Even though he hasn't been in the game that long, the man ain't even 20 and old, undisputed. You understand me? Undisputed. You got to give respect where respect is due. Josh Taylor is a hell of a fighter. He's coming in versus Jack Catterall. Now, I was very unfamiliar with Jack Catterall. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know too much about Jack Catterall. I've been doing a little research. I don't know too much, but I've been doing a little research on Jack Catterall. For what I understand, he is undefeated. Looked like he's a decent fighter, aggressive fighter, come behind a jab, southpaw. I like him. I think that, which I'm going to go into later, Jack Catterall, he comes across as, a guy who's really eager to get this position, especially since during the weigh-in today when I seen him choke Josh Taylor. This choke has become legendary since Floyd Mayweather choked Victor Ortiz. That's very disrespectful to me. There's no reason for us to be choking each other during the face-off. I think that's very disrespectful. Don't put your hands around my neck. Nowhere. While we talking. But Catterall, his nuts big. He decided he grabbed Josh Taylor's neck, the undisputed champion's neck. Now, Josh Taylor pushed him off, but even still, I was thinking Josh Taylor was going to try to break through the crowd on him, for disrespecting them like that. So, this shows to me a little bit of confidence from Catterall, which confidence don't win fights. I'm not saying just because he's going out there and he grabbing people's neck don't mean he going to beat Josh Taylor. But it showed me that the first thing you need to beat an opponent like Josh Taylor is no respect. No respect. That's something that you see a lot of fighters do when they say, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do this to him and I'm going to do that to him. And then they get out there and they don't want to say nothing disrespectful. No, I'm a humble guy. No, you got to be disrespectful. That's the first sign to let me know that you probably will win a fight if you are disrespectful. You're not showing any respect to the opponent. Even though they may have a better resume than you, they may be an A side, B side. I still want to see the opponent go out there and be disrespectful towards the A side. That kind of makes me comfortable to see you going out there and being disrespectful. It shows me you have confidence, you believe in yourself. Don't mean you're going to win. Don't mean you're going to win. Now, I like Jack fighting style. Jack, he got the body shots. He come behind a jab, hard puncher. It look like, can't really say he a hard puncher though, because he ain't got that really that many knockouts. But he looked like a solid opponent. I didn't know that he was a mandatory for Josh Taylor for years. Apparently, this dude been, well, not for Josh Taylor, but for a title shot, he been a mandatory for like 5 years. I learned this from watching Ahari Davis talking, him and Ahari Davis, Catterall and Davis talking trash. He was saying that, he'll never get a title shot. Well, Davis, he's got a title shot. It's here. It's finally here for him. And I just hope that the best man win that night. I can't say who's going to win this fight. Y'all know I usually do a prediction, but I didn't know about this fight. And if I do a prediction, I'll rush it and I'll be wrong. So I'm not going to make a prediction on this fight. But I wouldn't count out Josh Taylor at all. Josh Taylor is a hell of a fighter. Hard to beat. He draws you into his fight. He takes you into the center of the ring and makes you fight his style of a fight. But Josh Taylor can be beat. I've told people this before. It's two fighters that can be beat from their styles. If you do this one thing, Josh Taylor and Virgil Ortiz can be beat by jabbing. Consistently jabbing. If you go back and you watch Ramirez versus Josh Taylor, he won 3 rounds straight using his jab. When he stopped, Josh Taylor took him to his fight again, and Ramirez lost. You can beat Josh Taylor by using your jab. Trust me on this. Now, I haven't watched enough tape of Catterall to say whether or not he can beat Josh Taylor because I didn't see too much jab using. You know, you have to keep a jab in Josh Taylor's face to beat Josh Taylor. If he takes you into the fight and draws you into the fight that he wants, which is close shoulder and shoulder, he's going to beat you. He's going to beat you. It's like I told y'all about Kell Brook in that Orthodox fight. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to be a special fighter to get past Kell Brook fighting in Orthodox position. That's his bread and butter. Speed of Light in the building. What's up? Do you really think he's got a chance against Bud? Hell no. No. That's all hype and talk. No. I just told you a jab. A jab. Go back and watch Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. You will see exactly what I'm talking about. For 3 rounds straight, Ramirez was beating him with his jab. When he stopped, I think it was about the 5th, 6th round. That's when he started taking over again on Ramirez because he stopped using his jab. Josh Taylor can't defend a jab. No, I'm not saying that he get hit every time you throw a jab, but it confuses his fight style. I promise you. Virgil Ortiz Jr. too. Virgil Ortiz Jr. too as well. But no, he don't stand a chance against Bud. Because Josh Taylor's fight style is, I want to fight in close quarters, phone booth fighting. Terrence could fight him in a phone booth, beat him. Terrence could fight him from the outside, beat him. And once, if I see that Josh Taylor can be beat from a jab, I know Bo Magnum see it. If I can see it, I know Bo Mac and his team see it. And I promise you I'm right. I promise you I'm right. No taking away from him nothing. But also this. But I wanted some people to come on before I mention this. But, you know, I was on Twitter. As I was on Twitter, I seen a post of Josh Taylor. You know, he said, you know, these belts are high price. You know, it takes a lot of money to keep these belts. And so, you know, as I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that $200,000 for 4 belts, yeah, that's a lot of money to be having to pay out your pocket. But then I look up today as I'm researching this fight for Catterall, and I say, you know, let me go see what the rankings are for each belt division at 140. I look up, and guess whose name I see at number 1 for the WBC. Now, it was crazy. I didn't see Regis Prograis anywhere close besides the number 3 spot for the WBC. But I see Jose Zepeda at number 1. So it got me kind of thinking. Jose Zepeda ain't no joke. Jose Zepeda don't play the radio. I don't think he played with his kids. It's real funny that right after Josh Taylor, you know, he get up to this fight with Catterall, you complain about how much the belts cost. Do I smell a duck? Do I smell a duck coming? I think I'm smelling a duck. Now the belts, they too much, huh? You can't pay for the belts, huh? You don't want to pay for the belts, huh? Uh-huh. I think somebody finna run from Jose. I think somebody finna run from Jose Zepeda. Jose Zepeda can switch stance, orthodox southpaw, hard puncher, jab, come behind a jab, strong behind a jab, power puncher, can fight on the inside, outside, take a punch. I think I smell a duck coming on. I think I smell a duck coming on. How y'all feel about that? I think that Josh Taylor is going to duck Jose Zepeda. He gonna use the fact that the belts cost too much or something else, and he gonna let go of the WBC belt first. The first belt Josh Taylor is gonna let go, if he lets go of the belts, is gonna be the WBC. Why? Because Jose Zepeda is there. Let me know how you feel about it. I smell a duck. There's some water around here. It's a pond somewhere. I smell some ducking going on. Crawford knocks out Taylor. Ramirez was hurting Taylor. It's some of the rounds. Terrence just built different. Yes, sir. You understand what I'm saying, Young Switch. Also, my brothers and sisters, my people. The link is in the description. Y'all can come on StreamYard. You are welcome to come on the channel if you would like to. The link is in the description. I'm on StreamYard. You are welcome to come on the channel. But I've been telling people that about Josh Taylor. Oh, Josh Taylor, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. To beat Regis Prograis, the reason he beat Regis Prograis is because he took Regis Prograis into his fight. Regis Prograis followed him into his fight. They ain't gonna give Regis Prograis no rematch. Thank you, Kwame. How you doing? I thank you for the love and support, man. Thank you for viewing the channel. I thank you. We talking about Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. Like I said, I'm not gonna make a prediction on that fight because I just found out about it. I rush prediction and be wrong, and that's why I mess up at. So I'm not gonna rush no prediction no more. Josh Taylor though, I'll be happy though if he did relinquish the belts, but I don't want him to. I think if he relinquished the belts, he gonna run to 147. Not run, but he'll leave to go to 147. I really would love to see him and Regis Prograis in a rematch. I think Regis Prograis deserved a rematch from jump, but you know that was a tough fight for Josh Taylor. Even though I feel that Josh Taylor won, you know, in my opinion, and I like Regis Prograis. You know, they let you know I'm not biased. I think that Josh Taylor won. He landed the more cleaner punches, in my opinion, throughout the fight. I know a lot of people saying that his eye was swole, but one punch or an eye getting swole don't mean you won a fight. But shout out to Regis Prograis. You know, I mess with him. No, I mess with him. I just don't want to curse. You know, that's my dog too. You know what I'm saying? Put it to you like that. Easy, what's your opinion on a feature fight with Thurman and Josh Taylor? Keith Thurman versus Josh Taylor. That'll be a tough fight for Thurman because Thurman does not like to use his jab a lot. If Thurman was to use a jab, consistently, he'll knock Josh Taylor out. But by him not, I think he would get drawn. He got drawn into the same situation with Manny Pacquiao. He'll get drawn into Josh Taylor's fight. All you have to do against Josh Taylor is have a jab. I'm telling you, that's all you gotta do. He's so used to fighting you, phone booth style, that when he realized that it's gonna be about 6-7 rounds when he realized, like, damn, I ain't even tried to get him into my fight. Because that jab gonna be throwing him off all night. I'm telling you, watch. The jab gonna be throwing him off all night because he gonna want you to come in close quarters. That's where his fighting thing. That's what he great at. Come on right here. Don't do that. That's what Josh wants you to do. Don't follow that. Yeah, Spence got a good jab. Spence got a long, good jab. Stiff jab. Ramirez was hurting. I'm telling y'all, if you go back and you see Ramirez in that fight, I hated watching that fight for Ramirez because I'm like, why hasn't his corner told him, Ramirez, get back on your jab? And you don't got to go to war with him. You won 3 rounds straight using your jab. Use your jabs. Don't go out there with all that trying to get close quarters and prove you're a Mexican warrior and all that. You don't have to prove you're a Mexican warrior tonight. You get right out there and keep that jab pumping and keep coming in. And that's how you beat Josh Taylor. And people be talking about, you know, I've seen a lot of comments, you know, under the Catterall, you know what I'm saying, gloves are off. Josh Taylor looks like a psychopath. He looks like he's crazy. That don't mean nothing. Some of the dangerous fighters be quiet. Terrence, one on one. The humble fighters be the most deadliest. The guys that talk to you with sense and that and respect you, and you know what I'm saying? Those the fighters that be really deadly. The guys that be out there doing all that high capping and I'm this and I'm that. That's just like in real life. All that it be the quiet, the humble guy. So a lot of people gonna look at it. I see something in Jack Catterall that I think Jack Catterall is hungry. I think he's waited a long time to get this title shot. I think he's been, even though he hasn't fought. Let's talk about the caliber opponents for Jack Catterall. Now, Jack Catterall, true enough, has not fought the level of competition of a Josh Taylor, but I see something in Jack that he sees through Josh Taylor. He shows Josh Taylor no respect. He cares nothing about his accomplishments, about him being undisputed. And when the gloves were off and I'm watching, I'm looking at Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall was looking as if this man is in front of everything that I love. Not I love, but everything I want to accomplish in my life. I kept seeing Josh Taylor trying his best to get under Jack Catterall's skin, saying little things like, "What are you gonna do? How you gonna beat me? Who have you fought? What type of you haven't fought the level competition of?" And Jack was just standing there looking at him like, he was like, "It don't matter. It don't matter." Now I'm not saying Jack is gonna beat Josh, but I'm just saying from his eyes and the way he looking, how he looking through Josh Taylor and what he's saying is not bothering him. Jack Catterall's goal is to go in there and beat and knock out Josh Taylor. But unfortunately, if Jack Catterall's team hasn't realized that a jab can beat Josh Taylor, he gonna get drawn into the same type of fight. And see, by Josh Taylor is very smart. See, some about them UK fighters, they know how to talk trash very well. All right. They talk trash very well. 9 times out of 10, you just ain't finna go out there and, you know what I'm saying, dog and talk out of UK fighter. See, Josh Taylor, from the press conference, from the gloves are off, from the time y'all talk to each other, this whole game plan is to draw you into a fight. He gonna disrespect you. He gonna downgrade you. He gonna talk bad about you, just so when y'all fight, you can get there in the middle of that ring and try to prove that you're more of a man than him. And that's not what boxing is about. Josh Taylor is very intelligent, very smart-minded. See, he gonna talk about your dog. Yeah, he gonna say everything it is to say to you for you to get in there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna show him." And he's sitting there like, "Yo, come on, come show me." Come show me. Come show me. That's what he's sitting there like. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm trying to get my eat on. Warm me up some, you feel me? We back. What's up? The problem with Jack Easy is that he jumps in too much. Taylor got the experience over him, may knock him out. Yeah, that's but it's also good for Jack, because coming behind that jab, he gonna have to jump in on Josh. Jab, come in, body shot, head shot, uppercut. He gonna have to come in with something behind that jab. So it's good that he jumps in, and that may get him caught. Coming in. But let me see. Josh Taylor is a southpaw, correct? So it's gonna be what, 2 southpaws? The fight really gonna be won off hooks. The fighter that throw the most hooks will be able to keep the opponent off him the most. And for some reason, I don't know why, I see that opponent being Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor throws more hooks combinations. Jack Catterall look like he does. His output is not as much as. So y'all, I just seen it. Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor. I'll be surprised if Catterall comes out and win this fight, but I'll go with Josh Taylor. The output of Josh Taylor is a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So yeah, I'm gonna ride with Josh on this. But like I said, I ain't making a prediction. I really can't say who's gonna win this fight. I really cannot say. But him jumping in and out, it may go good for him. You know, that could bring up his attack. You know, his arsenal. Jab, jab, come in behind the jab, body shot, body shot. But Josh Taylor is too much. You know what I'm saying? He too much for a fighter that don't think. And like I said, Jack seemed focused. You know, but you only as good as your team, man. You only as good as your team. Josh versus Antoine Russell. Antoine Russell will beat him. Antoine Russell will beat Josh Taylor. But I don't hold on. I don't know. Let me put it to you like this. That's gonna be a good fight because Antoine Russell, his style of coming, his body punching, his body attack, they'll be great against Josh. But if Josh was to stand on the outside, I don't know how Antoine would do against, you know, Josh Taylor. So I really that'll be a fight I just have to see. You know, I'm just looking at it from if they was in close quarters fighting. I think Gary Russell Jr. brother will get off, but when it comes to boxing, I can't say that Antoine will really outbox Josh Taylor. So I don't know about that fight. And not saying Antoine can't box. I'm just saying I haven't looked at him enough to see whether or not if they were standing on the outside, could he beat Josh Taylor? So I don't want to. You said he couldn't beat him. I ain't say that. I ain't say that. I'm trying to see if any people gonna get on. I seen the weigh-in though, and like I said, I seen Jose Zepeda. I was like, oh Lord, that's why Josh Taylor is talking about. Oh, the belt's costing too much, and yeah, you finna run from Zepeda. That's what Josh Taylor finna do. Oh, now the belt's costing too much, huh? I bet it is. What do y'all think about Zepeda versus Josh Taylor? Five, 10, 6, 9 inch reach. But you know, Jeffrey still though, you know, Jeffrey depends on who the better boxer is. You know, they can have the same reach, same height. It just depends on who the better boxer is. But who do y'all have against Zepeda versus Josh Taylor? And Zepeda, like I said in the beginning of the video, he can switch from southpaw to orthodox. Mexican fighter, good chin, powerful, can box, can brawl. So it's real funny to me that now that Josh Taylor finna have this fight, now you're going to talk about how much them belts cost. So let me guess, Josh Taylor, the WBC gonna be the first one to go, ain't it? Y'all be looking out for that, for Josh Taylor to let go of that WBC title first. Oh, look, what else? I was also looking in the rankings. Errol Spence Jr. got a mandatory. Ooh. But from what I keep hearing, Crawford next. So and you know, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go and talk about other stuff on here, you know, to keep it going. But Virgil Ortiz Jr. is Errol Spence mandatory, and I think Virgil Ortiz Jr. is Errol Spence mandatory and Terrence Crawford's, and Jaron Ennis is right behind him. See, that's why I don't understand why Jaron Ennis isn't calling out Virgil Ortiz. Because if you knock out Virgil Ortiz or beat Virgil Ortiz, you take over his spot, and he ahead of you. You beat Virgil Ortiz, you get a shot at Errol Spence. You become #1 mandatory. Then next for Terrence Crawford. So that's why I don't understand why people keep Jaron Ennis this, and Blair Cobbs is calling out Jaron Ennis. He don't want to fight. It's levels to this. What levels? You ain't what levels you on? Shout out to you, hell of a fighter, no disrespect. Man risks his life to get in the ring, but you ain't on no level different than no Blair Cobb. You don't want to fight him, because he ain't coming to lose. He ain't just coming off a loss. Oh, he ain't old. He didn't lose 10 years ago to Terrence Crawford. That's why. Shout out to you, Boost, though. You're a hell of a fighter. Risk your life as well. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to you. I just speak the truth by how I feel about boxing, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out to Philadelphia. Shout out to everywhere. Oh, y'all. You understand? Ortiz just called for a Boost fight. Thank you, Virgil Ortiz, for being a real fighter. Thank you, Virgil Ortiz. Even though Virgil Ortiz, you do fight a lot of fighters that coming off a loss. You do fight a lot of fighters that come off a loss. And then the next fight, he done picked up next. Like he got a mandatory. You ain't got no belt. Virgil Ortiz, you ain't got no belt. You ain't had to pick that dude you fight next. You ain't got no belt. Much, we have him and his dad. Sometimes, no disrespect to him. I like Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Junior, he a hell of a fighter, strong fighter. Me and my dad, whoever's up and whoever's up next for us to have to pick, whoever wants to fight, that's who we'll fight. Come on now. What did this dude named McNennis or something? I never heard of him. Never heard of him. Boots ain't fighting nobody right now. Why don't you go holler at Boots? Conor Benn? He out there. There's a lot of 147 pounders out there that's better than him. Ray Robinson, but I know he got a fight coming up soon. I just seen on fight on some Ray Robinson. Well, all these welterweights at. Kell Brook, but Kell Brook may stay at 154 though. Kell Brook may stay at 154. And then, like I had also said too about them JD, Boots about to fight Castillo, who just had a draw with Lipiness. See what I'm saying? You see? See, that's why I needed my computers, man. So I could be sitting up here and I could be looking up stuff and mentioning. Man, I swear I love doing this channel, y'all. It's just, man, shit ain't right, man. I gotta get shit, man. I love doing this channel, bro. But I wish I had my computer up, man, so I could go and look down the other list of names and shit, at 147. I can't think of this fighter names. Tastanois, or Stanosis, or he a fighter. We got Virgil Ortiz just took care of Velasquez. Well, like I said, Virgil Ortiz always fight fighters that coming off losses. And look at how he trying to. Jerron Boots is trying to call Sean Porter back in after a knockouts loss. Look how he trying to call Sean Porter back in up. Oh, you can come on. Man, that man just had a knockout loss. Well, you don't need to get back in the ring with you. You ain't going to get nothing for beating a man that just got knocked out by Terrence Crawford. Anybody who stood up there, yeah, I keep hearing about him, JD. I got to check him out. Anybody who come on, man. Y'all know what time it is with that. But I do want to see Boots get his title shot. If he beat Terrence, he beat Errol. That's just what it do. You know what I'm saying? Things change. But all this, y'all want the belts, and I want the belts. I know what Jerron and is why he want the belts. He rushing to get out of 147. He too big for the weight class, so he finna rush until he get a title fight. He can't keep making 147 like that. I'm telling y'all. So that's why he keep screaming. Oh, people ducking. Ain't nobody ducking you. Ain't nobody ducking you. You're a hell of a fighter. Shout out to you. Ain't nobody ducking you. You rushing because you are not supposed to be at 147. That's why. And Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman on some bullshit, man. Keith Thurman sad. And shout out to you, Keith. I want to do the love you as a fighter, bro. But this time I'm going for the WBC stuff, and I'm on the ring. I'm on the road for the WBC, which I seen that Keith Thurman really ain't ranked in no other division though. So sometimes I ain't trying to say Keith Thurman. I'm just saying Keith Thurman is not ranked for the WBO belt anytime soon. Now he is ranked in the WBCs though. How? After 2 years? I don't know. Maybe they just want to show Keith respect for the fact that he didn't lose, and he didn't lose his title, he relinquished it. But how? I don't know. But Keith Thurman is, I think, like the number 4 or 5 fighter for the WBC. But for the WBO, he is nowhere. He ain't nowhere on that list. I don't think he was on no other list. The IBF, nothing like that. He was just on the WBC. So, I criticize my boy for saying, he ain't gonna go to Spence route when I feel like he should go to Spence route, but I mean go to Crawford route, but it's still a duck. It's still a duck. Because he can still go after Terrence Crawford. It don't matter. But unless it's a mandatory, from right now, what I understand, Virgil Ortiz is Crawford's mandatory. If I ain't mistaken, I think it's Virgil Ortiz or Jerron Ennis. So. What's up with you, Brian? Dempsey and Johnson fought behind closed doors. I know it's off subject. To my Jack Dempsey and Jack Johnson. I'm sure they probably did because Jack Dempsey said he wasn't gonna fight no black man, but they probably went somewhere one day and he probably wanted to test himself and see if he could beat Jack. I could believe that, but he just didn't want the world to know if he was to lose to him. Taylor just got promoted to Super W. Oh my God. Taylor just got promoted to Super WBO champ, so he can now be a mandatory for Crawford's belt. That's good. That's all good. As long as he ain't a mandatory for that WBC belt he got, because Jose Pedraza is right there waiting on that title. And I like that fight. I think Jose will give him hell. I ain't saying Jose will beat him, but that would be a great fight. This man can switch stands. This Mexican fighter. Forgive me if I'm not right to my brothers and sisters, but I think he'll get Josh Taylor a hell of a fight. So it's real funny to me that Josh Taylor keep talking about he won't let go of some belts. Just real funny right now. I smell a duck coming on. A duck coming on. Ooh, ooh. Also, y'all see what's rolling past the screen, man. Show your boy some love on Cash App if you can. Easy work boxing, baby. PayPal is available. Let's go in and talk about this boxing, baby. Let's talk about this boxing, baby. Yeah, but Jack Dempsey, if he did fight him, yeah, it was behind the scenes, and he didn't want nobody to know because he didn't want nobody to know that Jack Johnson probably whooped him. You know, Pedraza got to get past Ramirez coming up easy. I think he will. I think he will. Ramirez. Oh, that's a good fight though. But he don't from under the WBC though. Under the WBC, he don't gotta go through no Ramirez. He number one for the WBC. But I mean, if Pedraza decides to fight Ramirez next, then that'll be great too, because that's a hell of a fight. Both of them come forward, they Mexican, they're gonna be a slugfest. That's gonna be a great fight right there. But nah, he ain't got to go his way. They are scheduled to fight. Okay, that's a good fight. That's a hell of a fight to see right there. That's a hell of a fight to see. That should be a Cinco de Mayo fight. May May 5th. Just like I keep telling people that Benavidez versus Canelo should be on Cinco de Mayo. But I've been on long enough. I just want to get on here and talk about this situation with Josh Taylor. Like I said, shout out to all fighters. No disrespect, just my opinions. They risk their life for our entertainment. Respect to y'all. There's no disrespect intended. This is just sport I love. I give my opinion. No bias talk, no racism. Once again, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. I think Josh Taylor is going to win this fight, but you'll never know with what I've seen in Jack Catterall. Shout out to both fighters. May the best man win. And also, I thank y'all as well for tuning in. The fight will happen March 4th. Okay, but y'all, this easy work. I'm gonna go on sign off. I'm gonna be back on, man. Y'all come on the channel whenever y'all can. I'm gonna stay on StreamYard so people can come on. I miss being on here with my people. And I just thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support, man. It's easy work boxing. I'm out.